we're here in Picton, meeting with Janet House, and learning about something that they're doing as outreach, which has to do with alternatives for women. So
Yes.
Thank you, Janet, first of all.
You're very welcome. And welcome to
joining
Picton,
us.
to Mary Magdalene.
Delighted to be here. Thank you. And I think what's interesting about this community engagement activity, it's one that will probably strike a chord for other congregations or parishes who are engaged in similar activities, but maybe with a different partner. Yes.
In our case, with Alternatives for Women, it was very much a happenstance. And I was invited to attend a Basketeers luncheon where we put together baskets for an organization called Alternatives for Women, that it was supporting women and families in need who were in troubled families and escaping abusive situations possibly, and in need of a helping hand. And so what Alternatives for Women does is support those families by giving them immediate shelter, and then helping them find a more long-term accommodation, schooling, jobs, supports, whatever is needed by that family to help them move on from that situation.
Wow.
So it was a very, very worthwhile cause, and I discovered that we had one in Picton. And so I came back to the church and said, why can't we do something along these lines?
Sure.
So we contacted the director and said that we would like to do a Basketeers program. And at that time it was once a year, usually just before Christmas.
Okay.
And you had a shopping list, and you put together baskets with these shopping lists of new items, because it's very important that these families are given new things when they're starting off again,
Of course.
because it's their sense of self-worth and self-esteem. And so the congregation responded to this wonderfully, and we had for a couple of years Basketeers drives, and we filled the baskets and took them to Alternatives for Women, and we'd say, well, what can we do? What do you need? And they said, well, what you're doing is fine, you know, that's about what we can handle right now, and this is really appreciated. And so we started collecting new items on a continuum basis. So instead of doing once a year, we have a bin at the back of the church, and people drop off new items, and so we collected those all year long, and just periodically, when the bin was full, we'd take them up to Alternatives. Meanwhile, they grew as an organization again, and obtained funding to purchase a house in Picton. So once they moved, and actually the congregation again responded to their need to help fund one of their bedrooms. So the various organizations in Picton were helping them with this build, or how can you put it, sort of redecoration of the house.
Yes.
And then they approached us with the idea that maybe we could help them with, because their client base was expanding and changing, they needed space to run workshops, like yoga workshops. What else do? They do a music therapy workshop. They have speakers come, and so we donate the space at the church so that they can run those programs, and they have access to the church whenever they need it.
So what this shows is something I think that's really important about community engagement is first of all partnerships, because you found a partnership and you had something to offer and the partner had, and in the evolution now discovering other things that, for example, the facilities of the church itself is a resource that can benefit that partnership and their clients.
Yes.
So,
and we
wonderful.
also started a what we called a Snowflake Program. So at Christmas, a bit like the Angel Program, which you're probably familiar with, we had a Snowflake Program. And then the congregation goes out and buys gifts. Well,
Sure.
I mean, it's like letting kids go in the candy store. They just loved this. They're coming in with multiple boxes for children. So it was really, the congregation loved it, because most of us, let's face it, in our congregation are grandparents. And so we
easy
know
to relate to.
it is very easy. And so, you know, we all get a bit emotional about these things, but it's so heartwarming when you know that you're making a difference in people's lives.
Yeah. So if you were offering advice to another congregation that might be thinking about looking for a partnership or doing something like this, what would the key suggestions you'd make?
One of the key things is actually getting to know what organizations are operating in your area and what would be a good fit with you. So certainly finding out those organizations, contacting the directors, having conversations, how can we help, what do you need? Because I think this was how we stumbled along at the beginning, doing all this basketeer stuff, which was great.
Yes.
But it wasn't always exactly what they needed, maybe. So I think that getting that communication off from the get-go is a really good thing. And then you're not trying to fulfill the need that you think they might have. It's rather what they
really need.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, such a great good news story, and hats off for the work that you are doing and that the other parishes that may be involved in similar partnerships are doing. And thank you for sharing this, because I know we have parishes in the diocese that might very well say, you know what, that's something we could do.
Yeah.
And I suspect you wouldn't mind if they wanted to reach out to you.
Not at all. Not at all.
And
not at all. And I mean, one of the key things is having a congregation behind you.
Yes.
And our congregation really has been behind not just this project, but other projects that the church has initiated. And it's very exciting to think of that connection with your community.
Yes. Janet, thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Glenn. Nice to meet you.
Okay. So thank you, everyone, for viewing, and look forward to sharing more community engagement ideas with you through these videos.